And we're back. Sorry to see Sir Matt go, but I mean, I understand things are going to happen. I'm going to be very, very diligent about making sure this stuff goes up on YouTube ASAP. In the meantime, the answer is easy. Because Santa can't open door 9 with only 7 in notice. Of course, there's only one reason for that. His number isn't actually 3. I didn't make that connection! Oh my god, he's right! Santa's real number. 7, would you be so kind as to modify my sister's equations? Yeah, yeah, sure. So wait, June is 9! But that means Santa has to be different as well. 7 looked at took the pen from a confused Clover and began to adjust her calculations. This is what you were getting at, right, Snake? It only works if his number is 0! I was right! My first instinct about who specifically was 0 was right! Oh my god! He read out the changes he'd made. When he finished, he looked at Snake. Snake smiled. Thank you. This is exactly right, 7. Santa's true number wasn't 3. It was 0. No way! Santa is 0? And June was 9, not 6. On the contrary, Santa was 0, not 3. They cancel each other out. Nothing appears out of order. Then that means that, even though he set the whole damn thing up, Santa was still playing by the rules of the nonary game this whole time. Precisely. So you're saying Santa planned this whole thing? I'm not sure if he acted alone or not. I think it is safe to conclude that he is 0. If my hypothesis is correct. Clover bit her lip. She seemed to be having a bit of difficulty believing her brother's explanation. Junpei. Junpei remained silent and thought. Snake's hypothesis didn't satisfy him. June's bracelet was flipped. Even if that were possible, then there would have been 2 number 9 bracelets. And if that were the case... Alright, that's enough talking. Let's go. It's high time we went through that door. Door 9 opened. They leapt through. The dead was directly in front of them as they came through the door. Quickly, they scanned their bracelets. And the detonator stopped. Phew! After pausing for a moment to catch their collective breath, Junpei and his companions head down the long hallway in front of them. I wonder if that 0 is consistent throughout all of them, though. That adds a layer of complexity that I'd never imagined. In the end of the set of stairs leading down the ship, it looked as though they led all the way to the bottom deck. They looked down, and it seemed to be flooded. After deciding it was safe, they headed down the stairs. Before long, Junpei and his companions found themselves at the bottom deck. They turned left onto another hallway, at the end of which they found another door. And of course, there's a symbol engraved over the keyhole. It looked like the sort of harpoon that one once used to hunt fish, the kind with 3 prongs. Snake traced the shape of it with his fingers. This is the Neptune symbol. There must be a key around here somewhere. Neptune key. All Junpei had was the Uranus key card. Not the same planet, not even the same sort of key. Clearly, it wasn't going to open this door. After examining the door a few more minutes, they gave up and headed back the way they'd come. With a little more searching, they found a metal door. On the side of it was the card reader. A symbol was engraved in the card reader. It matched the Uranus symbol on the key card Junpei was carrying. This is the place, he muttered to himself and slid the card through the reader. It beeped once, and the light on it turned green. With a heavy metal groan, the door creaked open. Junpei, Clover, Snake, and 7 looked at one another, nodded, and stepped through. The room they found themselves in was full of books. It looked remarkably like a library. Not the sort of library where large numbers of people came to read books, more the sort of library that's simply a place to store books. He felt a little overwhelmed by the sheer number of books, but Junpei did his best to speak with authority. Alright, if we want to get through that door out of here, we need the Neptune key. I say we split up and look for it. Okay. Very well. Sure thing. Good, let's get started then. We don't have a lot of time. Hurry! Alice sleeps in a small chamber past the Forest of Knowledge. As he began to search for reasons he didn't fully understand, Junpei felt those particular words float through his mind. Seek a way out. The first new room in a while. Okay, let's swap screen setup so you guys can see where I'm clicking and what I'm thinking. There's a note on that table. Lights to the books. Oh, what does that mean? Interesting. Well, intelligence often hides itself in darkness. Have you ever thought about the pages of a book? Each page only sees, maybe 2 or 3 minutes of light before the reader is on to the next. They spend the rest of their lives locked in darkness. Now they're like myself. That's horrible. Oh, don't get me wrong. I'm not complaining, not at all. I live in the darkness, yes. It has gifted me with the ability to catch the truths others might miss. I can hear voices hidden in darkness, you might say. On top of the table, it says lights on to the books. Handrails made of metal. Okay. What's the deal with these titles? They're all just gibberish. What if we, switch them around? Switch them around? Yeah, if we move them around, maybe they'll spell something. Oh, I get it. Yeah, heck, it's worth a shot. I don't see how we could create any 4-letter words with these, though. No, hold on. I didn't mean to do that. I meant to do this. Yeah, we can't make any 4-letter words. So, I guess we need more books? No. Are property values going up out in space too these days? Man, guess times are tough for aliens too. This one says cosmic inflation. That's not what it means! Quantum gravity. Simon, do you have any idea what this is? How about you start by using real words? Then maybe we'll get somewhere. No, that's the same bookshelf. The black hole hypothesis. Gamma ray astrophysics. I guess this bookshelf has an astronomy theme. Energy theory. Development of nanotechnology materials. Interactions between shortwave energy and matter. What else have we got? Just listening and read those titles is giving me a headache. Can't say fancy technology stuff and I get along real well. Keep on talking about this stuff and you're gonna put me to sleep. I guess that I'm wrong about the purpose of the nonary game. Maybe... Okay, new idea. Santa's doing the nonary game to justify its existence. Someone died for this nonary game. It has to be really important. So I'm going to do it again, make sure the experiment works, and make sure it was as important as I thought. Maybe that's the reason. I guess this isn't a punishment. It's something else. History of the medieval period. Maybe it's about Sir Lancelot. Isn't he just a story? I don't think you're gonna find a guy who didn't really exist in a history book. A kid's book here? Looks like a children's story about Native Americans. Don't you think a random book like this is kind of suspicious? Maybe you ought to hold on to it. This one has some Native Americans on the cover. Hey, Junpei, take a look at this one. Native Americans, huh? Maybe it's got some... Whoa! It's a pop-up book. LRK. What's that? It's one of them pop-up books? LRK. That doesn't mean anything. I'm gonna write it down anyway. Does it? Well, you could make them KRL, like Curl or Carl. Something about punishment? I don't know. I mean, I guess maybe that still makes sense, but I just... There's too many things happening. What's Hellenism? I think it's something like a fusion of Greek and Oriental culture. This book's called History of the Medieval Period. Oh, that's one I already looked at. Functions of the human brain, huh? I guess this book is about the nervous system. I'd love to ask you to read it to me, but I don't think we have the time. I'm kind of curious about it too. There's gotta be a reason why people connect with each other, you know? This one. It looks just like that picture book from earlier. The one with the pop-ups. You think they're part of a series or something? You have the same binding.
It's a baseball in this one. Come on, Junpei, let's see what's in it.
I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say it's probably baseball stuff. Whoa! Head. Interesting. You can say Ace's punishments is one of the reasons for Lexiville, please! Spoilers! No. Time me out for... Ah, shit! Damn. Okay, does somebody know the command to untime out someone? I just accidentally goofed and timed him out for 600 seconds. Unban. Oh, there's a button for that. I'm sorry. Lexiville, I meant to time you out for only a few seconds. I'm sorry. Slash unban? Okay, well, anyway, there's a button for it. Okay, so I fixed that.
This is a pop-up book. It's got the letters H-E-A-D popping out of it.
I don't know if it is. It could be. I don't want it to be. And don't say if it is a spoiler. Maybe they were researching human physical limitations across history. Okay, what's happened here? Dadkind. What the hell is this? Wasn't that a German mathematician? Maybe it's a compilation of his work. Owen, huh? Owen isn't enough to go on. Perhaps it's about the English Revolutionary. Leibniz.
This book is in German. Looks like it's complete works of something.
I've never heard of it. Well, if Snake doesn't know what it is, I don't think we'll ever know.
Sheldrake?
Sheldrake. Isn't Sheldrake...
Wait, Sheldrake! Wasn't that... Have we heard that before?
Pythagorean theorem. That's a famous one. Sounds like there are a number of math books in this section.
That's a weird book, Junpei. Indian mathematics. That's funny.
Why is that funny? I don't get it.
This is Riemann hypothesis. There's a hypothesis about it with a Riemann. Isn't it pretty straightforward?
Heavens no, there are many factors. Length... or lack of... It's an exciting and rapidly growing field.
Whoa!
That one's about Goldbach conjecture. Conjecture? What's it about, like magic or psychic stuff or something? Right, I bet it's about jewelry, isn't it? It may have an odd title, but it's actually a very respectable mathematics book. It deals with one of the unsolved problems of additive number theory. Sorry I said anything. Look, let's not get into this right now, okay? Algebraic number theory. Math, huh? There's another one like that over here. You mean something like primary number theory, or analytical number theory, or geometry?
Oh my gosh, how'd you know? You said anything about those?
Well, number theory is usually split into 4 chief disciplines. If there was a book named Algebraic Number Theory, I took a wild guess. The other 3 would be there as well. Looks like I was right. Think that there just topped the elevator scene? It might have. Unintentional sex joke from Snake. It's a small enclosure with 9 sides. There are 3 of these things that look kind of like music stands.
Hey, Junpei, you think maybe we're supposed to put those pop-up books on these stands? Then you could open them up.
Oh, yeah, if we do that, then we might make a shadow on the bottom there. True, but there are 3 stands, right? We don't have enough picture books. In other words, we need 3 picture books. Alright, let's go look for the others. Let's see what we've got here. So many books here. I wonder this one's... Whoa, what's this? Warm.
Oh, sorry.
No, I'm sorry. Hey, what's the deal with the sappy stuff? It's happening! What's this? Origin of Japanese folklore? Looks like there are a bunch of books about Japanese culture here. Mostly ones about folklore, though. Well, folklore can cover a wide variety of subjects. History, urban life, religious trends, environmental changes, oral traditions. Folklore can cover all these things if you know where to look.
This looks pretty deep.
Agricultural and historical organizations and folklore. Modern Japanese literature, huh? Hey, there's another one of those picture books here. Something about these feels kinda nice, you know? Brings back good memories.
I guess even people like 7 were kids once.
No shit, you little brat. Hey guys, cool it. Alright, I think I'm gonna take this picture book with me. It's got a magic wand on it. Okay. So what's inside? Well, aren't you gonna open it? Pretty sure it's just gonna have pages inside Smart App. Oh! Okay, this one's even more confusing than the rest. Looks like another pop-up book. Look, it's an S, E, and a dash and number 5. I might be impressed if I was 5. Alright, so now we can do the thing. It's a small enclosure with 9 sides. 3 of these things look kind of like music stands. Okay, how about we try putting these picture books on the stands? Then...
This is a little weird.
Okay, I put the pop-up books on the top of the stands. Well, you could sort of see the letters. It's too dark in here to really tell, though. Well, that probably means our light isn't bright enough. There are 3 lights in this thing. They aren't very bright, though. Do we have anything that could give us more light? Oh, hell. That's not gonna help us. There are a couple of books in the glass shelf. From left to right, they say Volume 6, Volume... Oh. 6, 3, 2, 4, 1, 5. In the middle of the glass door is a cylinder lock. You know, the kind of lock where you rotate numbers around until you've got the right ones to open it. What the hell is this? It's like they just gave us the answer. Guess I might as well give it a shot. 6, 3, 2, 4, 1, 5.
You did it, Junpei! Yay!
I don't know why, but I don't really feel particularly happy about being praised for that. Whatever. At least the lock's open now. Let's see if I can get it open, alright? Oh, hey! A powerful light bulb! Feels like a light bulb. Pretty high wattage too, unless I miss my guess. This should generate quite a bit of light. But we need 3 of them, don't we? The iron plate is bolted down. I don't think it's a door. I think it's just a wall. I don't see anywhere else to go, though, so maybe we only need the one? There are 3 lights in this thing. They aren't very bright, though. Hey, didn't we find some kind of really powerful light bulb earlier? Why don't you put it in one of those lights?
Yeah, well, it'll be a lot brighter, but...
But if there are 3 lights, that means 3 light bulbs. Won't be much point unless we can replace all 3 bulbs. We need 3 light bulbs, huh? Alright, so back to searching. The big opening in this door to the library. It's pretty impressive. Almost looks like a door to a shrine or a church or something. There's another door after it, and then there's a passageway beyond that. And in that passageway is a door with the Neptune symbol engraved on it. Hurry up, we need to find the key with the mark of Neptune.
Okay, that sounds like a job for the best brother and sister team in the world.
Man, it's like 7 and I don't even exist. Don't get jealous already, Junpei. Man, this thing is narrow. I feel like I'm walking across a tightrope. Gee, Snake, aren't you scared? Imagine a wall 20 inches wide that runs along the top of a 10-story building. Would you walk along that wall, Junpei?
No way!
And what about a balance beam in a gymnasium? Oh, well, that's easy. You don't find that strange? A balance beam is far narrower than 20 inches. And so why is it a balance beam poses no challenge to you? The hypothetical 10-story wall does. The light can easily turn people into cowards. From time to time, a life in darkness can give you courage. That's very poetic. An overview of photochemistry?
I think whoever set this up wanted us to see the cover, not the spine. Let's look at it, okay?
Huh. Looks like there's a whole lot of space behind these books.
Look, Junpei! I think there's something hidden behind the books.
Okay, so that's the secret. I need to look for... Oh, wait, there was another one up there. What's that one called? It says Foundation DNA and Genetic Engineering. Okay, so it's not that one. So anything that's colored and stands out is a good one to check. Energy theory, huh? I don't understand the damn title. Looks like it shelves all science and technology. This again. I don't think I need to do this yet. Unless... No, nothing I have matches that yet. It won't let me click on that other one. History of the Western World. I'd assume it's about European history. Yeah. Just gonna leave it at that, Snake? Doesn't seem like you.
Look, this one says cultural heritage of Rome.
That's gonna be a serious inheritance tax. There's a bunch of books with titles like Black Hole Hypothesis. I don't think I checked these sides very well. That was a job of achievements, huh? Aren't any other books that look suspicious? That was about books about nervous system, like functions, yada yada. Alright, down here maybe? Maybe I didn't check these as thoroughly as I could have? The book says Dadkind. Owen. Dadkind? Owen. Berniz. And Sheldrake. Okay. It's got a volume number written on the lower part of the spine. Let's go back up. So I have a suspicion. There we are. No. Deadkinds, Owens, Lebanese, Sheldrake? No, there's no S. Is this really all I can do with these? I'm a little bit lost.
Oh, it's a coat rack. Like a place where you hang coats and hats and stuff. This one's not too big, so maybe just hats.
Note on top of the table, it says lights to the books. I'm trying to get the lights to the books. You're not letting me. Go down here. Shelf of books in Japanese folklore, oral traditions. Bunch of books on folklore and myth here. Books in here, all sorts of languages. I can't read them. Huh. And then there were none. For the sake of finishing this today, does someone want to give me a hint as to what I'm supposed to do next? I don't know how to do this. I think the clue we get from the books below is going to lead us to that. The 4 books again? These 4? Open. Open here, find bulb. You could make letter. You could make words. Of course you could. How about this? Looks like pulling the books in the right order opened this right up. Huh, that was a piece of cake.
Hooray! You did it, Junpei!
I guess that turned out well enough.
So the letters from the title spell out, open here, find bulb.
That was just me being thick then. Thank you guys. Stairs go down to the bottom. Just let me go down. Let me go down. Just let me go down. There we go. Hey, stop clicking the bulb! Nope, stop clicking other things. They're not what you're supposed to be looking for. Alright, so the 3 lights are here. I'm gonna change the bulbs. Now they should.
Awesome! It worked!
Sheldrake 5. Sheldrake. 5. That's what we're supposed to go for. Cool.
Way to go, Junpei. Good job, buddy.
There's something projecting on the bottom. These letters, they seem familiar. It says Sheldrake on the spine of the book. It's got to be volume number written on the lower part of the spine. Sheldrake 5. It says Sheldrake... Let me... Oh, I have to actually look at it, don't I? I have to actually specifically look at it. You son of a bitch. I'm gonna swap screen setups. Sheldrake 5. Sheldrake? Junpei read the text out loud. I think I saw the rest of the collection somewhere.
Yeah, I think it was somewhere around here.
Let's go take a look.
Okay.
Seven and Clover walked off, leaving Junpei and Snake behind. Have you heard of him? Sheldrake, I mean. Junpei grinned. Yeah, Lotus told me about him. Oh, he was the guy behind that? There's a British biochemist named Sheldrake. He has a rather interesting theory. The theory of morphogenetic fields, which relies on the theory of morphic resonance. Really? From Lotus, huh? Well, Clover also said something about that stuff. She did. Yeah, what was it?
The ability to access a morphogenetic field is affected by a couple of things. The first is epiphany and the other is danger.
Ah, that girl. I told her not to tell anyone. You did? Why? Junpei's eyes narrowed. Look, man, I don't push it because we're in a hurry, but I'm kind of sick of this. How about you just tell me, okay? Tell you what? Don't give me that. About the experiment. Snake's shoulders slumped and he shook his head slowly. He'd finally given up. Very well, fine. I'll tell you everything. But not here. Let's move to the top floor. Junpei nodded, which he couldn't see. With that, they climbed the stairs to the top floor. Snake was silent for a moment after they arrived, then finally crossed his arms and spoke. I suppose I may as well start by telling you why I kept quiet, and why I made sure Clover did as well. To be honest, the explanation is quite simple. Zero told me not to. I had little choice. He didn't walk up and tell me, of course. He gave me a message engraved on a card. Snake reached into his sleeve and pulled out a small, stiff piece of paper. It looked like a good deal. Looked a good deal like the one he'd shown everyone at Central Staircase. So you had 2 cards. No, only one. I knew it! I knew there was more messages written on that thing that only he could read! I knew it! I knew it! I knew it! No, only one. Huh? What did you mean? I thought that card just had some rules for the nunnery game on it. Yes, it did. And those were the rules I read you. However, they were not the only thing on the card. There was something I didn't read. Well, perhaps I should say there was something I couldn't read. And that was... Tell no one of the events that took place 9 years ago. Tell and I activate your sister's detonator. Oh. Well, Snake nodded. Well, what about Clover? Did she get the message from Zero too? I don't believe she did. But doesn't it strike you as strange that Zero would shut my mouth but not hers? Yeah, that does seem a little weird. To be on the safe side, however, I told her it was best not to tell anyone. Still, apparently she told you. That girl. What's wrong with her telling me? I figured some stuff out with the things she told me. I mean, it looks like the whole activate her detonator thing was just a bluff. She's prancing around downstairs, happy as a clam now that you're back. Snake glanced down at Clover and Seven, examining one of the bookshelves. That's very true. I've decided I can trust you. I've decided to tell you the truth. The chance that Santa is Zero is very high. I feel I can assume Santa doesn't have time to observe us at the moment. At any rate, even if he were, I very much doubt he would kill us. Why not? Clover told me about the 4-leaf clover, about the words. If he knew about that, then he was in my group during the first experiment. I'm sure of it. He wouldn't kill us, no matter what the situation was. So all the other endings were the situation getting away from Santa, people being having more murderous intent than he expected, and killing everyone else. Every single other ending was a hell of our own creation. Interesting. Snake paused and cocked his head as though he were listening to something very far away. His face looked dark, as though something was weighing on him. Hey, Snake. Junpei wasn't quite sure what to say. Snake turned and looked at him. Yes, I know. You want to know what happened during the experiment? Yeah. How much do you know? Junpei relayed to Snake everything Clover had told him. The morphogenetic field in the experiments 9 years prior that had dealt with it. how the experiment had taken place simultaneously at 2 locations, one being the ship, and the other being a building in Nevada, how they played the nonary game. He told them everything. And finally, he told them how a girl had died during the experiment. Oh, she told you all that, did she? Snake looked down, his face was tight. A slight tremor shook his body and he was able to hide it. He was putting good front, but Junpei could tell that he was holding back even something deep and powerful. He made it as if to brush something from his face and looked up at Junpei. At any rate, I now know how much you've learned. All that remains is for us to determine is who did this and why, right? Yes. Can you tell me what happened? Snake nodded slowly. The people who organized the initial experiment were from a company called Cradle Pharmaceutical. There were 4 of them running the show. Jintaro Hongo, Nagisa Nijisaki, Teraki Kubota, Kagechika Musashido. Oh dear, these gentlemen look so pleasant. And that's probably Ace. Hongo was the CEO of Cradle Pharmaceutical. Nijisaki was his right-hand man. He did the lion's share of the planning. Kubota led the company's research and development division. Wait. Is that 9? Musashido was the majority stockholder. It was these 4 people who planned the initial experiment. Let me simplify it for you. Hongo designed it, Nijisaki put it all together. Kubota developed technology required, and Musashido provided the cash. So it's Hongo, Nijisaki, Kubota, and Musashido. Junpei couldn't shake the sense that he had heard these 4 names somewhere before. We did in the safe ending! Of course, more than 4 people were required to conduct the experiment of this, scale. To that end, they organized a top-secret team to assist in the research. All in all, they gathered 10 people or so. Those 10 completed their team, and when they were able to begin the project. They named it the Nonary Project. The purpose of the experiment was to research for the prospect of controlling a human mind through sheer will. The vessel, I suppose you should say, for this control was the morphogenic genetic field. Why did the glycerin suddenly begin to crystallize? Why did the crystal structure of EDT undergo a sudden change? Why did the rats improve their puzzle-solving skills with each generation? Experiments with humans produced the same results. The more people who knew the answer to a question, the more people there were who could answer correctly without having seen the problem before. Why? How? The answer is that the shape of the answer had been stored in a field invisible to the naked eye, and though the field with the resonant event transmits information related to the answer. That's essentially the idea behind morphogenetic fields. But that's just a theory. Can't bring yourself to believe it. Not really. Let's say someone killed another person because the devil told them to do it. Whether the devil exists or not has no relevance to the murder. They believe the devil exists. Whether or not he does is immaterial. So what matters here is that Hongo believed in the morphogenic field. Snake nodded. But I still don't get it. You said they wanted to figure out how to control people, right? That is what you're saying. Yes. So how are they going to do that with a morphogenetic field? I'll keep it simple. Let's suppose 10,000 people have solved a certain problem. The chance of you knowing the answer, even if no one has told you, will go up. Let's have another example, shall we? Say 1,000,000 people were to do a handstand right now. So the chance of you doing a handstand would be higher, even if you have heard nothing of this hypothetical mass handstanding. Mankind's thought process and actions are all part of a resonant event. All the resonant events encoded in the fields are projected onto you. Of course, this assumes you believe in the theory. You follow so far? Yeah. But let's say hypothetically that there is a person who had the same effect of the millions of people. What would happen? If that one person were to do a handstand, other people would find themselves wanting to do a handstand as well. Can you imagine what that person with powers like that would be able to do? Come on, there's no way. I'm not done. Imagine another scenario. Imagine another person. This is an ordinary person. Let's say he does a handstand. But if there was someone who could grab the resonant event he created by doing that, and use it to make other people do handstands, what would happen then? A person who has the power to write to the field, and someone who can read from the same. You could think of them as writer and reader, or their transmitter and receiver. What would the world be like if there were people with abilities like these? Junpei thought about it for a moment. So the transmitters resonant event can be transmitted through the field and sent to the receiver. And then the transmitter can control the receiver however they wish. That's what you're saying, right? Yeah, it's close enough at least. Come on, that's just crazy. Well, if you want to prove that, then you'll have to test it first. At least that was how they thought. That was why they decided to do their experiment. That was how the Nonary project began. Snake suddenly looked very serious. Junpei, have you ever heard of the Gansfield experiment? Junpei nodded. Yeah, that was the experiment in telepathy, right? They put a pair of subjects in separate rooms. Then they'd show one of them a picture and ask the other what they saw. Interesting, I'm impressed. Yes, that's exactly correct. So why'd you bring up the Gansfield experiment? It was used to screen subjects for the Nonary project. The hospital in the remote town was affiliated with Cradle Pharmaceutical. Hongo used it to conduct experiments on visiting children in secret. Some of them he found had potential. He began to gather children that showed promise. Children that seems as though they may be able to access the field. Of course, none of them volunteered. They were kidnapped. His face barely moved as he spoke. There were 9 pairs of siblings taken for 18 children total. For reasons they were not fully understood at the time, each pair had 1 transmitter and 1 receiver. They were split perfectly. As such, the 18 children were split into 2 groups of 9. The children who were put in the Group Q were the ones who excelled at transmitting. Those who transferred to the mock experiment building known as Building Q in the Nevada desert. The children who excelled at receiving were put in Group A. The members of Group A were placed in the former hospital ship Gigantic. From the experiments he had conducted so far, Hongo had learned the following. There are 2 things that can increase one's resonance to the fields. The first is epiphany, the other is danger. Have you ever been faced with an especially difficult problem and thought about it very long and very hard until finally an answer suddenly appeared in your mind? It may seem obvious to say so, but that is what's meant by an epiphany. The information obtained through that epiphany can be easily transmitted through the fields, where it can be easily interpreted. Adding danger to the equation allows for an even easier field access. Therefore, Hongo set up a number of puzzles throughout the Gigantic. The participants had to solve each puzzle before they could move on to the next room. Of course, he hadn't forgotten to include danger. More specifically, he had detonated a bomb on the hull of the Gigantic. Children in Group A were forced to play the Nonary game as the ship sunk. By forcing the children into a life-or-death situation, Hongo hoped to increase the likelihood of tapping into the fields. The children from Group Q, on the other hand, were confined in a mock experiment building, Building Q. Building Q duplicated the interior of the puzzles of the Gigantic exactly. Hongo explained this situation to the children of Group Q. Solve the puzzles you find throughout the rooms. When you solve them, transmit that information to the children in Group A. If you succeed, they will be able to solve the puzzles and escape. But if you fail, then the Gigantic will sink, and your brothers and sisters will drown. Do you know why the astronauts of Apollo 13 were able to return to Earth safely? It was because NASA had access to a replica of the Apollo 3 capsule. All the equipment, the instruments, everything, all of it was identical. NASA was able to replicate the situation the astronauts were facing by putting themselves in the same situation. They attempted to solve the problems they knew the astronauts were experiencing. Once they had found the solutions, they reported their findings to the men aboard the actual capsule. That was how they were able to return safely. It was the same with the Gigantic and Building Q. The children from Group Q had to use the power of Epiphany to solve puzzles they found and transmit what they learned to the fields. The children in Group A, however, had to access the fields to learn how they might advance to the next stage. This is the simplest explanation I can manage. Snake sounded defeated. His half-hearted attempt at derision served only to show how much of the story had affected him. Just as Junpei was about to speak. Hey, Junpei! Snake! How much longer are you two gonna sit around on those bony asses? Get down here already! Ace can be translated in German as ass. Someone's voice echoed from below. Snake took a deep breath and blinked rapidly, as if he'd just waking up from a long nap. He's right. Let's go, shall we? We don't have much time. We need to get out of here, and soon. Snake headed for the stairs, but Junpei put out an arm to stop him. Hold it. There's one more thing I want to ask you. Are you sure that there were 18 kids? Why? Well, I thought it was only 16. Oh yes, that was what they said on the news, wasn't it? Yes, I have no doubt there were 18 children abducted and used in Hongo's experiment. After all, you can't exactly have a Nonary game with any less, would you? Yeah, but... Are you saying the news got it wrong? Yes, I am. There were 2 more children. However, they had no relatives that I'm aware of. I imagine no one filed a police report when they went missing. That would be Santa and his sister, because they didn't have any parents. They were brother and sister, like Clover and I. My brother's name was Aoi. My sister's name was... Her name was... Snake couldn't seem to bring himself to continue. It looked as if he were about to say something, brought him great pain. We've heard that name before, by the way. Her name was... Akane. Uh-oh. That was the girl who... died. Junpei felt as if he'd been punched in the stomach. His vision went blurry and his head felt light.
I think we found out why Akane is here. Uh-oh.
He couldn't think straight. Everything was blank. Had Akane Kurashiki died 9 years ago? She had then... Who was June? No. No, that was impossible. It couldn't be true. Akane wasn't an uncommon name. If Snake had known her last name, then that would have been a different matter entirely. So they shared a name. There were other people who did as well. It meant nothing. It was a different person. Of course it was a different person. It had to be. Junpei shook his head hard and pulled himself back to reality. Is something wrong, Junpei? Your breathing sounds strange. And Snake had noticed. Junpei had cleared his throat and tried to act calm. Oh no, it's nothing, I'm fine. Let's get back down there, alright? Snake raised an eyebrow but said nothing. He headed down the stairs, Junpei bringing up the rear. There are two possibilities. It's a coincidence, and Santa noticed this, that it wanted an Akane in the group because he wanted to save his sister. He wanted a second chance to do the Nonary game and save his sister. So, so June is just a surrogate. One possibility. Second possibility. They're in on it together. He couldn't bring himself to ask. He told himself he knew the answer already, but couldn't bring himself to ask what the little girl's last name had been. With every step he took, the whole cold, hard sound of feet against metal dug at his heart. There's more possibilities, but those are the two that jumped to mind. Sheldrake. This is it. This is what the shadow picture was pointing to.
But didn't it say 5 at the end of the shadow picture?
Yes, I think we need to find the 5th volume. Well, would you look at that? There's a big red button behind this book. I guess we should press the button. That's a hell of a door!
What was that sound?
It sounded like something really big was moving.
It came from the top floor.
Alright, let's go check it out. $13, $14, $10, $13. I'm writing that down.
Oh, I bet you gotta type something on the keyboard.
Yeah, but you can only enter letters.
Well, it looks like you only enter 4 letters.
Let's see how this works. I guess you need to hit enter once you type in the letters. But you can erase what you type with clear. Alright, okay, I got the basic operations. Let's give it a shot. Let's see. 13, 14, 10, 13 equals... That equals 50. How do you express 50 in Roman numerals? That's actually a legit question. I don't know. Is it C? No. Can't do it that way. Oh wait, C, enter. No. As if the title isn't a complete lie already, Yoshikev. What's the Roman numeral for 50, guys? I really don't know. 50 is V? No, that's 5. Roman numeral for 50. $50 is L. Oops, clear. Error. Okay, so it's not that. Maybe it's the digital root of all of this? That would be 5, so V. No. Let's go back. I want to check other things first. Damn it! I just don't get this. What the hell's the point of these Roman... What is Snake doing? These Roman numerals. If you convert them to Arabic numerals, you'll have a 13, 14, 10, and 13. True, but this keyboard only has letters, and we can only enter 4 letters. Why don't you just convert the numbers to letters? Convert the numbers to letters? Oh. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, M, N, J, M. Error. That doesn't work. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J. That's 10. K, L, M, N. So 10 is J, 13 is M, 14 is N. Yeah, I'm bad at that, Kirby. I do the same exact thing. That didn't work. Ugh, why isn't this working?
Hey, Junpei, I was thinking, isn't this kind of like that other one?
Other one what?
Come on, you remember? The one in the captain's room.
Captain's room? Well, yeah, I converted the letters to numbers, and now I've converted the numbers to letters, but that doesn't tell me anything. It didn't work. Alright, the handle's gonna open the door for me. Ugh. Man, it doesn't matter how hard we pull, this isn't going anywhere. Looks like it's probably locked. Okay, so I press enter and type in the letters. If I screw up, I can delete what I typed with clear. Alright, I'm gonna try this again. M, N, J, N, enter. Okay, back. Give me a hint, game. Why? What the hell? Why the hell isn't this working?
Don't you remember, Junpei? That thing in the captain's room. You put in the letters for numbers, right? So I think we gotta do the opposite of that, right?
Do the opposite. I did! That's what I'm doing! One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Hint, look in file. Digital roots? I don't think digital roots is helping me. Think back to the kitchen. Back to the kitchen? If you're telling me to use base numbers, I'm not gonna know shit. Also, there's nothing here that at least seems to help me. Alright, let's try this again. Didn't think it would be that easy. God, I don't get this. I can't figure this out. Junpei, you idiot. Idiot.
Hey, calm down, Junpei. Let's think about the numbers we've got, alright? Okay?
You mean 13, 14, 10, and 13? The note you got from the captain's quarters.
Yeah, they're all under 16, right?
Yeah, they are.
So how do you write 11 in hexadecimal, Junpei?
B, right?
How about 12?
That'd be C.
15?
Okay, C. Okay, wait. 11 is B. 12, 13, 14. So instead it's D, E. It's dead! It's dead! F, of course. And there are 10, 13, and 14. Oh, I get it! Yay! You did it, Junpei! It's unlocked now! Good job, Junpei. Whoa there, don't get too excited. The password was dead, remember? This makes me think whoever's waiting for us ain't good. So what? Jeez, you're such an old lady. You can't be worrying about stuff like that. I mean, come on, we got it to unlock, didn't we? Let's go, hurry up! Open sesame! Alright, Handel, it's time we got this over with. Damn it, I can't get it to open. This thing won't even budge. What? Why not? We put in the password, what else do we have to do? And that means... It's the other door. Nice job failing that puzzle that many times. I was trying to get them to give me more hints on purpose. Come on, cut me some slack. Alright, let's get this thing open. If the game's gonna offer hints, I'm gonna try and use those before asking directly in chat. The door opened, and Junpei and the others leapt through it. But no sooner had they done so than the clang of metal on metal rang out behind them. They spun around. The door they'd just come through had slammed shut. Junpei grabbed hold of it with both hands and pulled with all his strength. Urgh! Damn it! Looks like it's locked automatically. Is there any other way out? Well, there's another door over on the right. There's a card reader next to it. It's got a red light on it, though, so I'm pretty sure it's locked, too. At least the game's nice enough to offer hints, yeah. But there is a card reader, right? Yeah. Then perhaps if we find a key card, we can open the door and leave? Well, yeah, that might work, but... Hey, wait a minute! Are you saying we're gonna have to search through this room for one little card? Oh, man. They took a second look at the room they'd found themselves in. Yeah, this place is a mess. It was filled with piles upon piles of all manners of things. The only word that could describe it was chaotic. Wait! Those are deads! Those are the deads! Oh god, what? It was like a tornado had passed through, followed by a giant who had picked up and shaken the entire room a few times. Junpei's heart fell. Clover and Snake looked as though they were about to cry. Well, we can sit down and wait to die, if that's what you'd prefer. I'd rather doubt that, however. So it would be wise to start looking. We haven't much time. Let's find that key card. Oh, and the Neptune key as well. We won't be able to get through the hallway without it. Alright then, let's begin. Seek a way out. Alright, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna take a break. I'm gonna get up, stretch, and everything, but I'm definitely gonna keep playing, because I want to finish this today. So, get up, stretch, wherever you need to be able to keep watching comfortably, and I will be right back.